All right, well, Aliyah Boston, thank you so much for making the long trek to WTHR here, downtown Indianapolis, going into year 3 for you here in the WNBA. Kind of crazy. Is that crazy?
It's kind of crazy to think how fast time is going. I was actually just saying that, like, I can't believe this is my 3rd year.
Did Aliyah Boston just subtly call out her former coach while praising new head coach Stephanie White? In her latest interview, Boston couldn't stop raving about White's superior communication skills and her ability to make in-game adjustments, skills that just so happened to be the exact areas where fans and analysts believed Christie Sides came up short last season. "Now we come out, we have to be ready to compete," Boston said. "But we also know that if things aren't going our way, we have a coach at the helm who knows how to adjust." Boston recalled facing White's Connecticut Sun team last season and how their constant tactical shifts kept the Fever scrambling. That respect for White's strategic mind now turns into full-blown excitement, as White steps in to lead Indiana. Boston's praise wasn't just a compliment, it was a revelation about how drastically things have changed for the Fever, especially for young phenoms like Caitlin Clark. When asked how her off-season went, Boston lit up. "Off-season was great," she said. She was thrilled to be a part of the rival, and was even more ecstatic about all the major roster changes the Fever made during the break. "It's been super fast," she noted, "but I think they've all just been super exciting moves for us." Gone is the reserved tone of last year's interviews. In its place is unfiltered enthusiasm. She described the Fever's acquisitions as super exciting, highlighting the winning backgrounds and veteran experience now on the team. This is a major contrast from last season, where younger players like Boston, Clark, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell shouldered the burden alone. With seasoned players joining the fold, the Fever suddenly look like a team that's not just rebuilding but ready to compete, seriously. "I think what really helps us and excites us the most is that we win," Boston said. "Coming from winning programs in general and being able to put this together, it's going to be super exciting." What's especially noticeable is Boston's shift in mindset. Last year, the language was filled with potential and development. Now, it's all about expectation. She's no longer dreaming of competing, she's expecting to win. This subtle change in narrative reflects a franchise that's finally found its footing. Boston elaborated on how the new players bring flexibility to the court. Being able to have so many different options on the floor, anyone coming off the bench ready to be that heavy hitter and make an impact. This is a team with depth, something they severely lacked in the previous season. If defenses collapsed on Clark, Boston, or Mitchell, there wasn't much else in the arsenal. Now, that's changed. Perhaps the boldest statement came when Boston described the Fever as formidable, a term she never dared to use last year, even as the team flirted with playoff contention. It's not just a change in vocabulary. It signals a change in ambition. "We want to win every single night," she declared. "It's clear Boston is taking on more responsibility as a leader. Gone are the platitudes about progress. Now, it's about performance and accountability." Her comments also reflect an acute awareness of the moment, of how women's basketball is finally capturing mainstream attention. "There's so many eyes, so much energy, so much attention. It's like every time you step on that floor, you want to play your best," she explained. She talked about playing not just for herself or her teammates, but for the fans, especially the young girls who idolize her and her teammates. "You want to continue to show them, listen, we come out here, we compete not just for ourselves but for you guys."
Talked about going against her in the probably most important series of your career, right? In the first round last season. What did you take away from going up against her? That maybe you're like, "Oh great, she's on my side now and we can use this to our advantage."
Yeah, when we played against Connecticut, Steph, her adjustments, the way she started off the game, I remember there were times where we were playing and I was like, did they mean to do this? And then you come back again the second possession and they really did mean to do that. And it's something that we didn't think about, and coming in, it's like, okay, well, now we have to adjust.
Boston wasn't the only one echoing this sentiment. Dana Bonner also highlighted the Fever's new versatility and threat level. With Boston in the post, Clark on the perimeter, and a slew of new scoring threats, game planning against Indiana will be a nightmare for opposing coaches. Still, the most telling part of the interview came when Boston discussed Stephanie White. Her entire demeanor changed. The praise was effusive and specific. No vague platitudes here. Steph has just done a great job ever since she got the job of just communicating, she said. Boston emphasized how White wasted no time, diving straight into film sessions about Boston's role and team goals. That's super important, she added. Even though it feels like I've been in the league for quite some time, this is only my 3rd year. And being able to learn from a coach that you've been able to see and play against, especially seeing the way she makes adjustments, is super exciting for me. White's communication was a breath of fresh air for Boston, an implicit critique of sides. Fans will remember the chaos during late-game timeouts last season, when players looked utterly lost. Those problems, Boston seemed to imply, are now history. The respect Boston has for White stems from direct experience. Facing her in last year's playoffs, Boston witnessed firsthand how White's adjustments flustered the Fever. There were times we were playing and I was like, did they mean to do this? And then they came back and did it again. That kind of unpredictability is what Boston is excited to see used for Indiana, rather than against it. Being on this side now, it's super exciting, Boston admitted. Because once again, we have so much talent on our squad. She understands that other teams have made upgrades, too, but she seems confident the Fever have the coaching and player foundation to outmaneuver them. Her body language said it all. She sat up straighter, spoke faster, and became more animated when talking about how White's leadership will help the team adapt in-game. It's the reaction of someone who feels she's no longer stuck in a broken system. When asked what White's first message was to the team, Boston replied without hesitation, unity. White emphasized the importance of sticking together and ignoring outside noise. That was the biggest thing, making sure we are a tight unit, that nothing can poke holes in what we have going. That's one way to go down, and we don't want to go down. That kind of proactive leadership stands in stark contrast to last season's reactive scrambling. Boston didn't have to outright say it. Her repeated emphasis on communication, adjustments, and unity told the story. White is bringing structure, vision, and trust, 3 things the Fever sorely lacked under sides. Boston's reflections also expose how frustrating last season must have been. From the outside, it looked like a promising young team trying to grow. From Boston's inside view, it was a team hampered by communication breakdowns and strategic rigidity. Her excitement over the coaching change is as much about what's ahead as it is about what's finally over. As the season approaches, the Fever are no longer a hopeful experiment. They're a legitimate contender, and Boston knows it. Her message is clear: they're not just ready to play. They're ready to win, and with Stephanie White on the sidelines, Boston believes they finally have the leadership to make that happen. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates. Thanks for watching.